I am Tim McLeod, and I am the Director of Alumni Relations in Connect for 65 with Sierra Tucson, and been with Sierra Tucson for 19 years. And my focus is all about helping the folks after they've been through Sierra Tucson, our clients and our family members. We are, our goal is to be a lifetime support for those who have come through Sierra Tucson. So today's workshop, Remodeling the Heart for a Balanced Lifestyle, is we're gonna chat about certain things here, about what is your definition of balance, what have you found to be the benefits of guidance and support, what have you found to be the benefits of helping others, and is there anything that needs attention, space for more benefits and gifts in your life? What are some become disconnected? Some ways you become disconnected. What are some ways you can reconnect? And so we have a little handout here that I put together around remodeling the heart, and in the center of the image, the red heart is kind of the intersection, and it's where where us reaching out for help and us helping others, it creates this intersection of that everything just flows together. It creates this balance in our life. It allows us to have awareness of when others might need help. It's this 18-inch journey that they talk about from our head to our heart. When all these are in play, it's amazing how it just our life just flows, and it becomes, there's some balance to that. And so this is a template here, and I will share about what all these little lines mean, and we go along. Oh, one quote I like is, "It is one of the most beautiful compensations of life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself." Ralph Waldo Emerson. So the arm up. So right here, if you can see my cursor here, with the, reaching up and our arm up, in these little lines here is right in, when you have a chance, if you want to print this out, is the examples of us reaching out and what do we need to take care of ourselves and help from others outside of us, like higher power, time out, which means, a retreat, downtime. Maybe it's a therapist, and, our professional support. Maybe it's a sponsor, meditation, exercise, nutrition, support group, good sleep, all that stuff are all those things when we reach out that I need to pull that into my life and to apply it. And so I can, again, be the person that I want to be every day. Those things are the tools that I need to reach out for. And then it's always good to look at, what prevents you from reaching out for help. And so in these lines up here is to write in some of those things, the fear of what others might think, our ego, our pride, I don't have time. Those are some things that, I've experienced myself, and I've experienced over the years of talking to others, and that's what can hinder, reaching out. And so, yeah. And then, and write in, if you print this out, write in what those things are for you. If you want a love message to be heard, it has got to be sent out. To keep the lamp burning, we have to keep putting oil in it. If you want to bring the love, what is filling you with love? You can't give what you don't have, and you can't receive what isn't there. Mother Teresa. And then an essential part of a happy, healthy life is being of service to others. Susan Pattonville. And so if we go to helping others, that is the arm down, right? How are we carrying that how we passing along all the things that we've learned and gained and through our own work that we're doing. And so we would be writing those in here. And for example, being an active listener, being present and being a friend. I mean, how many times in our lives have we've been, challenged with something where we just wanted somebody to be present and to be an active listener, not there to fix, not there just to be there with us and walk the journey. And that's an example of that. Volunteer. So many people have chosen to give back in ways of volunteering, and it for different organizations, whatever. There is something to that. I was attending in a support group, and this person that was a sponsor at that time said, whenever they ask for volunteers at the end of the meeting, you need to raise your hand. And I'm like, okay. And so I got chose to vacuum the carpet. And man, I'll tell you, it was the last thing I wanted to do. And I'm doing it. So now, but halfway through vacuuming, I figured out that it wasn't about vacuuming. It was about just being of service. It was about just, what is it that I can do? How can I give back? And it really changed my mood. Share your story. We all have a story. Everybody can receive hope so many times from hearing somebody's story. And so I highly recommend that, whatever you have an opportunity to share, and being vulnerable and being honest. Sponsor somebody. And that could look like many different things, not just that 12-step program. Holding space for others, which means even though that could be like a support meeting where I got nothing to share and I got nothing, but being there, being present for others so they have that support. Be an encourager. I can't tell you how many times I journal or spending time in the morning and just a name pops up. And just to send them a text or give them a call, this person I might have not talked to in a while and said, hey, just wanted to check in. You mean a lot to me and so grateful for you in my life. And how that lands, it's just the exact perfect time for them. And again, it takes me out of self. And then willing to say yes. Many of us we've seen that Jim Carrey movie, The Yes Man. And it's when somebody calls and asks for help or support, yes. Just being a yes person with that. And I get so much more, I think, than maybe they get when I'm willing to do that and saying yes. So, next slide. What are some ways to prevent you from helping others? Well, and I would be writing those down here in this little line. Well, not enough time. I can't do that. I've got this going, and all that. It's amazing how much time we actually do have when we are balanced and when we are, slowing down. I think during the season that we're in with this pandemic, a lot of us have moved in from a human doing to a human being and a different speed of life, and we're more in tune. And so by doing those things, by reaching out and for that support, it actually provides more time in a way, because we're more in tune, more grounded, and more aware. I think this, we can all say, self-doubt. What do I have to give? And I think that's many times that I've talked to people that it's somebody was talking to me about being a big brother, big sister, and they're like, "What do you have? What do I have to give?" And I'm like, "Man, you got one key thing, and that is time. Just spending time with somebody. We think things have to be so grandiose and big. They do not. Just that that connection means so much. And then fear of letting somebody down. And I think that's just, again, a natural thing. And that's something to maybe look at within ourselves and to talk about that with our support, that piece with our hand up, those tools that we have that we can reach out to and find out what is that about. All right, next slide. And is there anything that needs attention to make space for more benefits and gifts? We know that things can cause, disarray, frustration, take us out of the moment, and is there something that we need to work on? And I'm really aware of, when I've reached out and working with others that, yeah, there are some things that, whether it's a therapist, looking at a reason why I have self-doubt in myself. Where did that stem from? Looking at that in my life. Is there an addiction? Because we know that whatever that addiction is, it's separating myself from any other relationship that I have. That is the most important relationship that I have. Resentments. Am I hanging on to just anger and fear and upset about certain situations and talking about and working through those? Shame and fear. We talk about that, the piece of the iceberg. If you look, you can see an iceberg and all the little peaks that it has. We can list all those things that we've dealt with. That, are easy to see, but what's underneath, the underlying part of that iceberg that we can't see, many times it's shame and fear are driving that. And taking time to look at that and what are those things. And again, that's where the support, depression, and we could just go on and on here of listing things that that we could do, because what these things will do will mess up that intersection, in the heart, and from this being this great flow that can just happen through us because of all the gifts and blessings that can take place. And we know that when people have worked through these challenges here, that it's so exciting to be around them. Just the freedom that they're feeling, and I'm always amazed and blown away and excited for that, for those individuals that will take the time to do I call it the good work. Next slide. So what are some ways you have become disconnected? It's just something that I wanted to throw out that you can, ask yourself. What are some ways that can get you thrown off, get off of track, and then the other one is, what are some ways that you can reconnect? What are the tools that you can use to get back into that flow that we talk about? And so, part of that is reaching out to that, that support, and then get that, to get that flow going again, back to giving back to that support. And when I talk about giving back, that's wife, spouse, husband, mom, dad, great friend, things like that. That's all that benefits from the hand up and the work that we're doing there. Those are all things that will benefit from that. And I'm well aware that when we are in tune and in balance, our heart, we are able to recognize when there's something or someone that needs some support, encouragement, just that helping hand. And there's discernment that comes from that, and wisdom. And so with that, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. And I recently just heard this, and it is to me, it is so true, because the day you find out why has come to pass for me, is that I found that calling when I put aside that addictive behavior, worked on, as I say, I did the good work, getting some help, going to treatment, working with a therapist, finding that support, that community that can remind me that I'm terminally unique, that other people in this world have the same issues that I have. And so through that, I found a calling and found out what I'm here to do on this planet. And so it's wonderful to see others that have done the same or have experienced the same and found out why. And it's a gift of this job to be able to connect with others that have experienced that. And so I want to open it up. If anybody has any questions, any comments.
Someone's asking, how do we do self-care, volunteering and such? It's been difficult this year, obviously, with COVID. So do you have any suggestions for how we can be of service when we can't really be close to people right now?
Absolutely. One of the ways is it's being an attendee in an online support group meeting. And one, the meetings that we hold at here Tucson for the alumni, we share in the format that whether you choose to share or not, it is you are holding space for others, and just being present for others, that can be done that way. The other way is, I always liked when I'm at the airport, because it always seemed like I didn't have I had time on my hands, and I'd go through my phone and just scroll through my contacts. Like, man, I haven't talked to this person in a while, and so that's something you could do. That's going through and just reaching out to people. And it's amazing when I've done that, how grateful that other person is willing to hear and connect. And we can find ways to social distance ourselves at a park outside and things like that. I've heard where still certain groups are meeting and everybody brings their own chair in a park and they're all separated. And it's just being that present, with other people. Okay, let's see, another question. How do you deal with stress that is going on in this time in our country? Thank you, Trish, for that question. And I would say is some of those things that I listed on there of talking to somebody, of sharing, not holding that in, of sharing what is going on. That meditation, that time. There are some great guided meditations that can kind of take you away, and you just listen and just walk through, and that's helpful. I think that the cheapest therapy in the world is taking a walk around the block. It's amazing. And when I say taking a walk around the block, it's having that, using the somatic model around that. It's being recognizing each step. What do I see? The colors. Start saying that to myself. I see the green trees. I see the yellow flowers. What I smell in the air. Everything and then what I can hear, and that just helps bring back to the present moment, and it's a great way to deal with stress. And then the other piece is sleep, is getting the good rest. It's not it's just fun to binge watch something on Netflix, but boy, I got to tell you, that's not going to help the situation. And so I recognize also with stress is what am I letting in? I work really hard to keep my sense of serenity. So what am I allowing to come in to derail that? Is it spending time on social media? Is it watching news? Whatever that can be, I don't want to let things derail me off, where I'm at, and so I need to be aware of all that. Yeah, Bob, that's a great reminder. Bob shared that I have O negative blood, and it's always it's needed, and he's donated blood because it's been a great way to give back. Janice, how can you deal with compassion fatigue without shutting down or shutting out? I think the one thing is on the compassion fatigue is knowing that I have to fill my tank first before I can help somebody else, and that goes back to that thing we've all heard 1,000 times, where we're on an airplane, we have to put the oxygen mask on first before we can put it on somebody else. I am really aware of that. I need to be plugged in before I can do that, and with that, comes having those conversations with our support, and then also that nutrition and the exercise, all that help, and that time out. Compassion fatigue sometimes needs a time out, and whether it's a week, 2 weeks, and just having that downtime. I thank you so much for our time today, and thank you, Courtney, for hosting. Appreciate you all.